In my last video, I talked about how all creatures with first strike and double strike deal their damage in the first damage step, but before we go to any regular damage, if we give that creature first strike, it will still get to deal its combat damage. But what if it was kind of reversed? What if something with double strike deals damage in the first combat damage step, and before it deals damage in the second damage step, it loses double strike? Double strike is very similar to first strike, where it creates another combat damage step, where in the first combat damage step, only first strikers and double strikers get to deal their combat damage. There's then a round of priority, just like normal, and then there's another damage step, where the only creatures that deal combat damage in this step are creatures that didn't have first strike or double strike in the first combat, as well as any creatures that currently still have double strike. But if that creature were to lose double strike before that combat damage, then the answer is pretty straightforward. Since they don't have double strike anymore, they can't deal combat damage since they already assigned combat damage. So what happens when a double striking creature takes out the blocker in the first combat? What would this deal damage to in the second combat? Well, in any combat, whenever a creature is trying to deal damage to something that's not there anymore, that damage just disappears. But if that double striker had trample, then it's a different story. That extra damage just goes to the face. And then the next question is usually, how does that all work with Death Touch?